The Wannsee Conference. This event would mark the beginning of the largest genocide in recorded history. Prejudice against the Jews reached its climax as the Nazi Party systematically attempted to eliminate the Jewish population. What seemed like an end to the Jews became a rebirth for the Jewish culture. The Jewish people rebounded from the genocide and now make it their duty to stop injustice and genocide internationally. Before the rise of Nazi Germany, Jews lived throughout the world in small communities. Despite lacking a homeland, Jews were able to establish communities and thrive in these locations. Wherever the Jews settled, they became the upper middle class, contributing members of society. They were almost always assimilated and secular. Oftentimes, the Jewish communities would take from their surrounding culture and incorporate it into their own. For example, this Torah from India has a design that is very ornate, similar to the native art style of India. Although the Jews were separated by hundreds of miles, they were able to stay connected with each other through their common religion. The Jews were often met with anti-Semitism wherever they went, despite being productive citizens and never causing conflicts for the countries that they inhabited. Anti-Semitism was never greater than in Germany after the First World War. Following the German defeat in World War I, Germany was forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles. Through this treaty, Germany was not allowed to hold an army. They lost large chunks of land, and most importantly, Germany was forced to pay huge war reparations, thus spiraling the country into economic failure. Inflation and unemployment rose quickly. In such a depressed state, all Germans were looking to poke blame at a group for their country's collapse. Few people questioned why the Jews, out of all groups, were blamed for Germany's breaking economy. Throughout history, Jews had almost always been a hated minority. While many Germans struggled financially in the years after World War I, the Jews maintained a solid economy within their small communities. This developed a sense of jealousy amongst the German people against the Jews. The horrible economic situation in Germany allowed the Nazi Party to gain power, a party which promised the extermination of Jews. The leader of the Nazi Party would be Adolf Hitler, who took power in Germany in 1933 and would quickly blame the Jews for Germany's problems. Hitler then began preparing for what he referred to as the final solution to the Jewish problem. The final solution to the Jewish problem would be genocide of the Jewish people. The Holocaust would become the largest genocide ever. 11 million people were killed, including 6 million Jews. World War II began in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland, marking the beginning of their conquest to control all of Eastern Europe. As the Nazis marched east, the genocide came with them. The Nazis raided every town they could in Eastern Europe searching for Jews. When a Jewish community was found, the Nazis either killed the inhabitants immediately with mobile killing units called the Einsatzgruppen, or they would force the Jews into small walled-off sections within their cities known as ghettos. In ghettos, the Jews suffered in harsh conditions and lived on extremely rationed food. The purpose of these ghettos was to trap the Jews until the Nazis were ready to transport them to concentration camps. In concentration camps, Jews and other discriminated minorities were forced to work under extremely poor conditions. There, they suffered from hunger, disease, and torture. Most Jews were forced to sleep in bunk beds with more than 6 other people in them. Many Jews died at these concentration camps, and those who survived were left sick and injured. Unfortunately for Germany's hated groups, Hitler believed that concentration camps were insufficient in their goal of eliminating all Jews from Europe. It was decided that those Jews who were physically unprepared to attend concentration camps would be sent to death camps. The Nazis' goal when creating death camps was to kill as many people as quickly as possible. To accomplish this, Nazis used gas chambers, which could kill hundreds of people at once. By the end of the war, invading armies began to liberate camps, but the damage had already been done. The world was exposed to the atrocities of the Holocaust. In the aftermath of the Holocaust, historians discovered that Hitler had actually planned to create a museum of extinct peoples. The museum was to include artifacts from the ethnic groups the Nazis planned to eliminate. One artifact reserved for this museum was a Torah that is now displayed in the Museum of Jewish Heritage. The Torah is the basis of the Jewish faith and a symbol of their heritage. The fact that the Nazis were collecting artifacts like this demonstrates their confidence in their ability to eliminate the Jews as well as their culture. Thankfully, the Nazis failed in their awful pursuit, and now this Torah rests in a museum of Jewish heritage rather than a museum of extinct peoples. The Holocaust could have been the end for the Jewish community, but they were able to rebound and continue to thrive today. The Holocaust failed because the Nazis underestimated the perseverance of the Jewish people and their commitment to preserving their culture. In an attempt to repay the Jewish community for their terrible losses in the Holocaust, the Allied powers granted the Jews their homeland of Israel, and for the first time in centuries, the Jews had a place to call home. Despite being a nation surrounded by enemies, the Jews continued to live and thrive while quickly becoming an important world power. The Jewish community has also dedicated itself to spread information about genocide. Survivors constantly share their stories of surviving the Holocaust to inspire people to prevent another genocide from ever happening again. One of these people who has dedicated her life to the spread of this information is Holocaust survivor Ruth Gruner. Gruner's objective when talking to students is to explain why people should not discriminate against each other. In a speech, Gruner explained how one morning she was looking outside her apartment window in Germany and noticed the great amount of variation among the flowers. She compared the flowers to the many unique cultures around the world. She then remarked that the flowers never killed each other, but instead together create a more beautiful world. If the world can one day rally under this message, we should be able to avoid prejudice and discrimination, thus creating a better future for everyone, regardless of race, religion, or culture.